Good evening is just turning 7 o'clock and Monday night. So, guess what? That's mental mind treatments. Now, as usual, I went to my little box, the insight box, and the card that came up today I found was really, really interesting. The only time I ever do anything is now. And on the reverse side, the only time I can ever be happy is now. Being in the now, it's funny, I was just rereading aspects of my Secrets for Living Happily book, and first part, it talks about being in the now. Everything we do is in the now, whether our mind is really there or not there. But it's an important element to remember that that's where we create. We create in the now. Don't create in the past. We can think about it, etc. We can't create in the future. We create now. Thoughts are important, and that's what we do here tonight on Monday nights. What we do is mental mind treatments, and mental mind treatments, for those that are not aware of it, is a type of prayer. And actually, I should back up a bit. It was a prayer I was looking for. I had spent quite a bit of time to looking for a prayer that I felt worked. And I did. I found this with the religious science people. And I studied with them for 8 years and became a minister in that organization. Unfortunately, that did not last. Things changed a little bit. And now I'm a minister with the Canadian International I can't even remember anymore. It's CIMM, Metaphysical Ministry. Anyway, it's Canadian, and it works really, really good as to how things are going. So I'm seeing Marion's here, and Karen Lee is here, and Karen and Mercus is here. Karen Lee says hi. Marion also had mentioned only saying good evening, everybody. So um, and Karen Lee, if you want to have anything specific, you can write that in, dear. Meanwhile, Karen, hello. She would like to have a treatment for expressing a vision of smooth flow to my life. And the numbers are 10, 6, and 17. Okay. Why I asked for three numbers is because that gives me a little bit more of an awareness of what's behind the request. And then I am able to sort of fit that in a little bit. So you basically want a smooth flow. I love it. Uh, um, yeah, sometimes we all want a smooth flow, and right now in life generally is not always the smoothest. That's for sure. It seems to me a lot of us are having sort of, it's almost like a car that's got the accelerator down, then the brake, and then the accelerator and the brake, and so things kind of come in clumps for sure. So Karen, okay, first let's look at these three numbers that you've got. 10 showing change. So you're prepared, you're ready, you're in the center to be able to move things forward. But there's confusion of how smooth flow looks. And really it's about balancing and being aware of your goals and the direction that you're going in. And so it's like sometimes we have a thought that what a smooth flow should look like. But in fact, things tend to run in a pattern. And of course, that's what I'm always looking for when I'm reading for people: the flow, the pattern. How does that work out? What are the ups and downs? And very often, like the number 10 that we see here, the need to be the center of all, I could say, the chaos around, but it doesn't have to be chaos. It's about the pattern. I think the moves flow to me when I look at this. You have the balance, you have the understanding and the awareness. I think that is to change the perspective of what a smooth flow looks like, and that it so that it sort of it flows in a different, like what is your pattern, how your pattern works, things like that. So okay, let's just go into treatment, because sometimes things come out very different when I move into treatment. Knowing there is one power and one essence, and knowing that we're all connected to that power, I then speak my word for Karen. As I speak my word for Karen in relation to having a smooth flow, to me, it's like I just wish the expectations would leave, the self-imposing that it's supposed to be perfect and it's supposed to work a certain way without allowing for all the actual elements. I'm seeing the sea as it comes in and it comes out, and sometimes it's rough and sometimes it's smooth, but actually it's all in flow. When we have like a high tide, we'll say at the coast, because I don't live on the coast anymore. That means the other side of the world is having the, like it's out, and then it goes in. In other words, the in and out of things, the flow of things. And I just see that it's a matter of acceptance of the flow. You want flow, that was one of the words you used, is like to accept the flow, to find the pattern as how your flow works, to find the pattern of maybe when you get a little uptight, to how does that affect the overall pattern. I know the power within you is becoming more and more relaxed and more aware of who you truly are and the depths and all the avenues that you have in relation to yourself and the direction of who you are and where you're going. So it's really about you just accepting in a way that you know it, that you have it, and that you can just let go of the concern that, well, maybe I haven't got it, or maybe I'm not good enough, or maybe I'm doing it wrong. All of those little thoughts, remember, freeze, evaporate, replace. Allow the spirit of life and love just take you on your journey. It is smooth, but it's not going to be smooth like a straight line. It's going to have a pattern. It's going to be like the sea that just kind of moves along, sometimes very calm, sometimes a little rough, but it's all part of the big pattern. I give thanks in knowing that Karen is actually in the flow of life, that it is moving exactly as it needs to, and that she has the wisdom and the awareness and the knowledge to be able to know when to give attention to this or to that, to be able to make everything flow in such a wonderful direction. I release this thought knowing with great gratitude, knowing that it is true and that it is done, is just the awareness of flow and allowing the flow to be. And I give thanks for this by saying, and so it is. Amen. And thank you, Karen. And she says, already insightful. I'm looking at the ocean right now. Oh, I sometimes wish I could look at that ocean, but I'll look at the lake. Okay, Karen, is there anything more? Treatment? That's right. Okay, Karen Lee. We got Karen and Karen Lee. Karen Lee. These, I'm not sure what I need right now, but I love a treatment for my highest and best. I'm open to whatever comes to you. Thank you. Okay, sometimes easier with numbers, but that's okay. I can do it all. Knowing there's one power and knowing that we're all connected in that oneness, that loving oneness, I speak my word for Karen Lee. And as I speak my word for Karen Lee, I know that the happiness, that the lovingness of life is in the heart, and it wants to flow out. And it's like almost like an embarrassment as to the flow of where all this energy is going and what it's going to say and what it's going to do. And I just want to allow it to flow. I just want to allow it to be. I know that you are connected. I know that you know that it's like you work within that force, that knowingness, that oneness that is there. And it's a matter of, again, recognizing the element of love is not always as we perceive it to be. It's that knowingness that self-love is really important. The universal love force is really important. But sometimes when it comes to others, we can love them for their imperfections. We can accept them for their imperfections as we accept and love ourselves for our own imperfections. And so as you go forward, that the essence of who you are and where you're going creates a tremendous sense of this lovingness and acceptance of what is, not only for self, but for others. Every person is working through their own situation. their own abilities of where, how, what, when. So I just feel it's a matter of relaxing and being and aware that the lovingness that you feel is real and that it is there for you. So I give thanks in the knowing of this. I give tremendous thanks in the awareness that you are at that point of acceptance of others as they are, but mostly the acceptance of yourself, the acceptance to love yourself for all the foibles that each person has, for the awareness of who you are and where you're heading and where you're going. So the path gets easier, brighter, and more effective. And so we release this thought knowing that it is true, that your lovingness is moving out into the world, and it's about you appreciating it. It's not about others, it's about you knowing that you are part of the whole and part of the one, and that it's all well. I give thanks for this as I release this thought and trust this is helpful, Karen Lee. I truly trust this is helpful. Okay, so I'm going to turn to my pages that I have here. Marion content, and I talked earlier, so I have some things here for Marion. She's given me 3 numbers, and it's regarding a health issue. So the 3 numbers, 3, 6, and 9. I always love that. I love that. Quite often we think of that way. Again, it's another number 6. And that number 6 is appearing quite a bit in the few that I also have up here. Loving self is not always the easiest thing. That it can be as I've already talked a little bit with Karen Lee about, it can be a sense of a sort of above, not always a practical application of lovingness. There's the knowing that we're loved by the universe. There's knowing that we love ourselves. And then there's being able to accept love from the world around us. But when we get confused, when we're unsure, when we're not clear on what exactly is happening, the whole key is to be able to listen to ourselves and get clarity on what we really are about. You see, very often when we are looking and trying to figure things out, whether it be a health issue, a love issue, a relationship issue, whatever, is that what we do is try and figure it out from our perspective, where we sit, what we've done, how and why is this happening, and how is this going on. So I'm just going to push this aside for the moment and just do a straight treatment of in relating to the oneness of allowing of this. Well, I guess we want a resolution to a health issue. That's what I feel the answer is. Here's a resolution to a health issue. I'm just writing that word down. Okay. Knowing there is one power and one essence, and knowing that essence of love, acceptance, and oneness is everywhere for us to connect into. I connect into it and therefore speak my word for Marion. As I speak my word for Marion regarding this health issue, what I see here is acceptance is really big. First of all, the absolute acceptance without judgment, without self-recrimination or anything else. It is about recognizing limitation and accepting limitation with ease. It is knowing that all that you are requiring to do is love yourself and love that you are loved, and not try to figure out what can I do different, what can I do better, how I've done everything I know, what am I doing? It's about listening to that inner voice that I personally, because I know that you have that. I know that you have that inner voice that comes and tells you blah, 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 blah. Sorry for the blah, blah, but I don't know what else to say. And it's like the same thing with this health. It is the finding the resolution to what the deep-seated seed that has planted this. Now, we all have different health issues that rise at different times for different reasons. And to discover the seed of the situation. Sometimes it's covered with, it's like dense fog. It's like a little seed, a thought, a feeling that was put away. We don't want to know about it. We don't want to sense that. And over time, that little seed creates a smoke, you could say like a smoke ring, but it feels denser than a smoke ring. But that's kind of how I picture it. And it's like finding that seed that says, where did I decide? Where did I decide that there was something not quite right? Funnily enough, as I speak my word for you, Marion, it is resonating with myself. So thank you for that. I also see that clarity as we go back to release and let go of because it's to do with self. It's to do with the self lovingness, to do with the lovingness of being. See, it's one thing to know it in the head, it's another to know it in the body. And sometimes we have to just bring that energy down into the body and relax with it, knowing that, yes, this is the truth, and allowing it to come into those parts of us that are not resonating in an effective way at that time. I give thanks for the clarity. I give thanks for the awareness and the knowledge. And I give thanks in knowing that there is enough awareness that you have that you can find that key, that lock, that will unlock that will unlock the beginning part of all this, the beginning part of the health issue, what the health issue is really about. Sometimes the outward manifestation is not what it's really about. But here, love is certainly, confusion is part of it, and also listening to yourself and doing what you know is right and correct for you. And so that it gives us a whole different sense of awareness. But I keep seeing this little seed. Maybe, I don't know, it's in this life or another time or place. I don't know. But it's like there's a little seed in there. And that little seed needs to get expunged and let go of. And a sense of breath, to breathe in the love, the light, the knowingness. And as I often talk about, self-forgiveness of anything that we've held that we didn't even know we held. And so we release that by saying, thank you, thank you, thank you to the great creator. And so it is. Amen. Okay. So I want to go to a gal called Angel. Well, numbers, I gave these numbers was the 6, again, confusion, 14, trying to balance everything, and 12 is acceptance. There's a move here that needs to be completed. And basically what I wrote down is the move to be completed with ease and grace. So here we go, my angel. Knowing that there's one power and one force that's in everything, and knowing that we all have access to that love. And yes, it is important to breathe it in and connect to it and know that it is always operational. So we're not just in our head, but in our hearts and our awareness. I know as I speak my word for Angel that the move that is happening, that will happen and is going to happen and created, that it will be completed with ease and grace. No matter what it may look like, keeping the thought of ease and grace is the key here. So there's flexibility, there's awareness in the direction of balancing and acceptance, the changes that are coming, and the awareness that everything can open up to bring great rewards. I give thanks in knowing that the ease of great rewards that can come from this move is through the acceptance, the letting go of confusion, fear, anxiety, all those things, allowing the balance to come into the awareness that there is an energy that supports you, that you don't have to get caught up in all the what ifs and maybes and perhapses, and the letting go and the allowing things to move in the direction of where you want to go. And I truly, truly say, as I release this, the thank you, thank you, thank you, as we release this, knowing that angels move will be completed with ease and grace, and that you'll be able to move forward from that place with ease and grace. And I release this knowing it is done by saying, and so it is. Amen. Okay, I just keep checking my board. Thank you, Marion. Appreciate that. And Karen Lee also did say, thank you. Awesome. Thanks so much. That's great. And she says, working on that. Isn't that funny how I tune into things that people are working on? That's because that's you. Okay, I want to go back to my little book here. I've been working with some people for just a short time, and one of them was Tanya. And I've got for Tanya the numbers of 3, 12, and 18. And that's the fear. 18 is fear very often. Not seeing things as they are, but being fearful in our mind. But then I've been working on the awareness of self and the love of self and the acceptance of that. And it's still like there's still fear that somehow of not being right. So as I speak my word for Tanya, I know within the one power and the one essence that there is love around, but there's a but here, but the acceptance of that love inside, although wanting it, there is that whole mental element that takes control. And as it takes control, what begins to happen is a sense of that it's not happening the way that she wants. Well, I think she's not even aware of it. It's just like, be aware that there is love, there is acceptance, there is light of who you are. And anything that counters that, anything that says you're not that, is false. Is false. And this is where we do the freeze, evaporate, replace, and let go of those fears and anxieties of not being good enough. And we just clear them out. And it's like, even though you make 2 steps forward, there's that 1 step back. Then you make 3 steps forward, and then you make 1 back. Acceptance of your worth, acceptance of who you are, acceptance of the love that you have for yourself is really important. And I give thanks in knowing, Tanya, that this self-love is going to grow and the mental put downs for yourself dissipate. What other people think, what other people say to you or think about you, that's their stuff, not yours. You need to honor yourself. You need to praise yourself because of what you have endured, gone through, and now you're coming out of that. Please keep on coming out of that. Please grow with that, because the life, that wonderful sense of love I talk about is there, has your back the whole way, but you got to trust it. And in the trusting of it, it puts everything in a perspective that people make and do say different things at different times. So we give thanks for that. We give thanks and knowing that's all that there is. I'm also going to speak my word for Christine. I feel there's a great deal happening here with Christine. Another one I have done quite a bit of treatments for. The acceptance of self, the creating of a light world, but then somehow not really quite believing, wanting to believe. So on this sense of tonight, we want to do a treatment of acceptance of the changes as it leads to newness and growth. I know there's one power, and I know in that power, all things are connected. And I therefore speak my word for Christine. And as I speak my word for Christine, I know that changes are happening to me, around me, and for me. And that I balance that as I go forward into the newness of my growth and understanding. And it's just like spring and the flowers coming and everything is that you're springing into the direction of yourself. You're becoming aware of your potential. You're becoming aware of the beauty that you have inside. You're becoming aware of all the things that you are and the beautiful things that you are and the awareness of who you are. I give thanks for the knowing of this for Christine. Because as I know it, so it is. And as I believe in it, so it is. And she will respond and be it. And there will be happiness, joy, and light and love. And all the, oh, is that real? Will dissipate easily. And for this, I can say, thank you, thank you, thank you. And so it is. Amen. I also have on my last, oh, there's one more on my list is for Tracy. Again, another 6 of confusion, like more knowledge, a little bit more knowledge is needed, a letting go of the past because of the confusion and uncertainty. And, sometimes we just listen to what other people say or think, or we're fearful of what they say or think. But actually, what I wrote was to accept your knowledge and support from others, to accept it. I know there is one power, and I know that power is loving, supportive, and always there if we allow it in. I also know that sometimes we need to learn how to let it in, how to feel, what it feels like, what it brings about. And so that we can move forward and not be concerned about what people think, say, or feel, or do. I know that Tracy is on the doorstep. It's like of stepping into the acceptance of her knowledge, the acceptance of having support from others that are supportive support, not so-called the support that puts you down. See, that's unfortunate that in the world, some people feel that they've got to put down another person in order to make themselves feel good. That's not love. That's not support. That's not connection. Loving is knowing. If you're having a conversation about certain things sometimes, but always to love a person, you support them in what they want to do. Sometimes difficult because it conflicts with what you may think yourself, but it's like their life, it's their path, it's their awareness. And sometimes people have to walk a certain path and feel and deal and be who they are. But what I feel here with Tracy is that it's just a matter of relaxing and allowing the support to come in, allowing the information, allowing and knowing no matter what another says, that you are loved beyond measure, no matter what, no matter what. The force loves you beyond measure. That was one of the things that impressed me years and years ago was, oh my goodness, all this love. And was I worthy of it at the time? And I spent my life working to be worthy of that love. Sometimes still miss the mark, but I'm human. So we know that's one thing for sure, that the energy doesn't judge and is in forgiveness, has forgiveness every which way of where it is. Oh, what I see here is that Lisa Marie says, happy Monday. I'd love a treatment. And she's got 12, 7, and 15. Thank you. Gosh, you just got in time because it's getting to the point. Often these close between 7:30 and 20 to 8. So, okay, Lisa Marie. 12, let me just look at these numbers first. 12, 7, and 15. 15 is emotional. So that's the heavy of the group. But one of the things that shows me here, Lisa Marie, is that this is about you accepting you. It's something I've been talking about too, is accepting you and realizing that often in accepting you, you have to let go of the past. And then sometimes there's people. Sometimes it's situations, sometimes it's places. There is a letting go. And the key is not to be afraid of that. To realize that, think of a chicken and its egg, right? And when it's ready, the egg cracks and it comes out and there's a whole new world. So it was in its embryo. It was comfortable. It knew what it was, and then it outgrew it. That happens to us in different stages of our lives. That happens where we grow beyond where we are, and inside it gets unsettling because we want to make a change, or we want to do something different. We want to go somewhere, or we want to do this or that. And it's just like that little chicken coming out of the egg. It's like, I need more space to do and be me. So that's the acceptance of the growth and the change. But then comes the fear. What if I'm not, what if I can't, what, all the what ifs, maybes, and perhaps, as I say, is one of the things that our brain gives us all the time. What if this happens? Perhaps that'll happen, etc. I know as I move into treatment for this is that what you're needing is confidence in you. Okay, as I just move into that wonderful sense of knowing the one force and the one power that's in all things, and I speak my word from Lisa Marie, I know that as changes are being made, the acceptance of them is that you are confident in your choices, in your awareness. And so, again, we get that whatever anyone else thinks or says, that is their perception. And that you're coming into your own perception of what you want and where you want to go and what you want to create. And so there is this great sense of awareness and knowledge and growth and progress. And so it's like, carry on that. You've accepted, you're ready for change. And then it's like, oh, is this correct? No matter. That's how we find out. We go and check and go through different stages. Most people have different stages in their lives. I've had many, but many people, other people also have stages, lots of stages in their lives. And I just want to give you a sense of knowing that the energy of the universal love energy has your back always. You just need to trust it. You just need to relax into it and allow it to be there for you as you make your transition, as you make the awareness and the change of all things. I know that you are at one with all that there is. Just a little bit more trust, a little bit more awareness, and stepping forward, step after step after step, that you will honestly recreate your world because you're loved, you're supported, and you just need to believe. I give thanks in knowing this. I give thanks in the knowingness of the one power and the one essence that is there that says it is time to accept you and move forward in what it is you truly, truly want to do and what you want to create. And I give thanks for this by saying, and so it is. Amen. I also want to do just one last one. Every time I say that, someone else comes in. But anyway, for a friend of mine, that we're just going to say, begins with D. I picked three numbers, 17, 3, and 12. The knowledge and the awareness is there. The love is there. It's just the acceptance of believing in self. And so once more, I do a treatment by knowing that there is one power and there's one essence. And that knowingness goes from the mind into the heart and into the allness of you, all the awareness to believe in you, that you know who you are, that you have the clarity that you want, that you have the awareness that you want, and that you are absolutely okay. By accepting yourself and accepting the force that is there that loves you beyond measure, life begins to take a whole different viewpoint of awareness. I give thanks in the knowing of this. I give thanks in knowing that you can believe in you and trust you, because you believe and trust in the one power that is there. So it's like, relax more into that and allow that to be. And I give thanks by just saying, and so it is. Amen. Okay, thank you. Lisa Marie, thank you. That was thanks, Lisa Marie. She says, oh, that was bang on. I always like to say when people say that, or they email me later and say, oh, that really helps, or whatever. It just does that. And I just want to finish up by saying, I really appreciate your subscription. When you subscribe, I should say, you subscribe to that. Some of you are writing to say you want to be on my newsletter for the specials and things like that. I appreciate that. Also, Wednesday, Norma Talks. Wednesday mornings now is going to be live on 9 on the channel here. We're giving this, we're changing this a little bit. So we're just seeing how that works out now. That works really, really well. I'm finding myself, it has a little bit of complication in it, but it's not so much the starting it. It's like I was used to a certain routine and I've changed it, but what's growth, right? So there is that. And also your comments, I appreciate all of you. And those of you that are steadfast in coming on every Monday night, thank you, thank you, thank you. I really, really wish you well and all that is there. So in this, I just want to say thank you. Night. I'll see you Wednesday for Norma Talks and again on Sunday for a Sunday Thought. Night now.